Howdy! It's a warm and muggy day here in our hoop house, but harvesting season has begun. And I'm sure, like me, you all are going, why does the harvest have to come all at one time? Today I'm going to talk about some tools that make that harvesting job easier so that you can get more done at one time. So this morning I wanted to share with you some tools that come in really handy when it comes time to harvest those herbs and fruits that you are going to preserve for the winter and the fall. Planting season has kind of settled down a little bit. We're in the midst of summertime, and so everything is just working on growing. There's more weeding done than there is planting. But our harvest season is upon us for things like herbs and sunflowers. And of course, those don't all come into season at separate times. So there's usually an abundance, and that means that we have a lot of work to do all at one time. And the right tools for the job make that work go faster. So today I'm going to share with you 5 different tools that I use to make harvesting our fruits and flowers and herbs much easier. So first up on the list is kitchen shears. So while these are very affordable and they aren't super complicated, they are super handy for doing things like clipping chamomile or cutting your mints or your culinary herbs like rosemary or thyme. And I can't be without some handy kitchen shears. They need to be sharp. Don't hang on to those dull ones. These are way too affordable to hang on to some bad scissors. Item number 2 is this handy dandy fruit harvester that also doubles as a chamomile harvester. If you've tried to harvest any amount of chamomile, you know that clipping those tiny flowers with those kitchen scissors can certainly make your hand cramp up. So all that needs to be done with this is that you scoop it and you gently pull and the flowers will pop off. You can see that I have a few in here already. This harvester also works for the berries that are more firm, like a blueberry or a haskap, an aronia berry. And it works with the same method. If you have a bunch of them, you just scoop them in between and gently pull off, and they will all pop into this handy dandy harvester. Number 3 on the list are these rose stem strippers. This is what a florist will typically use when they want to strip the thorns off of the stem when they're making a bouquet. But you know what? It's also good for stripping off leaves on certain herbs. Now this tool is used for things that have a thicker stem, because the holes do not get super tiny and they may not work as well for the smaller, more dainty plants. The good news is that brings me to tool number 4, and that is this handy little herb stripping tool. So you can see there are lots of different size holes in this, and it uses the same method as the stem stripper I just showed you, where you clamp down on the stem and then you pull down and it takes the thorns out. This one, it's the same method, but you put the herb through the hole and then you pull and it strips the leaves off of your herb. So say this works really good for oregano, peppermint, lemon balm, any kind of herb from the mint family. It also works good for rosemary. You just want to make sure that you pick a small hole so that it is tight enough to do the job. And this particular tool, the green part here comes off, and you've got a knife here, so you have another way to cut things off. If you want to trim some herbs off of, say, your thyme plant or a mint plant of some variety, you have another knife here if you don't happen to have your kitchen scissors with you. So that's pretty handy. And this was a super affordable little tool. It will save so much time and it is highly worth the money. Alrighty, last but not least is my handy dandy harvest basket. I have had this for many, many years, probably around 10 years. And I probably could use a few more of these. It's got a really wide capacity for hauling in your herbs. I usually have to use this 3 or 4 times when we're cutting just one plant, or if we have several plants that we're doing I have to take a load in at a time. So it's super handy. Of course, you could use any old basket or whatever crate or box you have around to haul it in, but I like that it has a handle. It's also handmade. And I would not be without my harvesting basket, because once you cut those herbs down, you need to have somewhere to put them and then the tools to get them ready for preserving them. So I hope that you enjoyed those 5 harvesting tools that I shared with you. And if you are interested in learning more about preserving your own herbs, we are going to be hosting a dehydrating workshop for free online, and so make sure you get on the wait list for that down below, and we'll let you know when it opened. So thanks for joining us on the farm, and we will catch you next time. Bye.